Okay, so today's class topic is polar plot and its analysis. So till now we have the plots, what is Bode plot, and we have also done the stability concept through root locus. Now to analyze the property and design the system, we are also having two more plots based on frequency response. One is polar plot and other one is Nyquist plot. In your Bode plot, what we have seen that Bode plot is consist of two plots. One is your magnitude plot, one is phase plot. And to determine the stability of any closed loop system or open loop system, what do you have to do? You have to draw the magnitude root plot and phase plot, and through magnitude and phase plot you can determine the stability. You have to find out the gain margin, phase margin, gain crossover frequency and phase crossover frequency through these two plots. But the thing is, to get the stability, we need to draw the two plots, magnitude as well as phase plot. Along with that, you have to purchase, or what you can say, you have to draw these two plots on semi-log paper. It means the availability of semi-log paper is also mandatory to get the stability using Bode plot. So this is slight limitation of your Bode plot. Else, Bode plot is widely used to get the stability of any control system in high frequency range. So today's topic is polar plot and how this polar plot is used to get the stability of any system. And after that, we will move towards the Nyquist plot. So generally, the concept of polar plot or Bode plot or Nyquist plot in the basic level is same. It means when you have a system, just consider having a sinusoidal input with a gain GS. What we have, we can represent that signal into its amplitude, frequency, and phase. In the similar manner, we have a magnitude plot and phase plot as such in your Bode plot. But to draw the two plots to get the stability is a slight limitation of your Bode plot. So in your polar plot, there is no two plots to get the stability. We require just one single plot. And that is also not on the any log paper or semi-log paper. That is on a simple graph paper. Just what you have to do, it means you just have to take the knowledge of your basics according to your angles or phase, its magnitude, along with the variation of frequency. So as such in your Bode plot, you are having a magnitude along with the variation of frequency. Similarly, you have a phase with the variation of frequency again. So now you have two plots. So how you draw a plot which is having three different parameters. One is magnitude, one is phase, and other one is frequency. It means you again have a magnitude, you again have a phase with the variation of frequency. And this frequency is again going to verify, or you can say not vary from 0 to infinity. The basic steps is same as the Bode plot. It means when you have a transfer function, you can just replace this transfer function s into j omega. So what you will have? You will have g j omega, and if it is unity feedback, hs is equal to 1. So g j omega h j omega is nothing but replaced in j omega x's. So what you have to do, whatever you have a transfer function, just find out its magnitude and phase. This is similar as in your Bode plot. But the difference is in Bode plot, whatever magnitude you are getting, you are just converting that magnitude into decibel. But here, there is no need to convert your magnitude in decibel. What is required? Just to find out the magnitude and phase. So as you can see on your screen, g j omega is equal to m, then angle phi, where m is the mod of g j omega and phi is nothing but the angle g j omega. It means if you are having any transfer function, then you can find out the magnitude as well as phase. And these two, magnitude and phase, are the functions of frequency, and where frequency omega is going to vary from 0 to infinity. So with the variation of this omega, you will plot a magnitude and phase plot, which is nothing but a phasor plot. So the polar plot is nothing but the locus of the tip of the phasor with the variation of frequency. It means you are just varying the frequency. With respect to that, you are going to plot a magnitude and phase on that particular frequency. It means the polar plot contains entire frequency response characteristics in a single plot. So it is understood that it is a single plot, not on the semi-log paper or log paper, it is on the simple paper, and just you are varying the omega frequency from 0 to infinity, and you are getting the value of magnitude and phase. You are putting this magnitude and phase on your that plot, and whatever the response or characteristic or plot is coming, that is the polar plot. And to analyze this plot, after analysis, we will get the condition of its stability. But it is also having a slight limitation. It can determine the stability of closed loop system using open loop transfer function, but it cannot determine the number of roots causing stability to the system. As in your stability Rao theory criteria, as I already explained, that the number of sign chain will give you the how much poles are lying on the right half or left half the S plane. So if any roots is lying on the right half, you can say the system is stable. But the number of sign change is giving you the idea that this much number of roots are in the right half. But this is not in the case of polar plot. We cannot say about the number of roots causing stability. It will directly give you whether the system is stable or unstable. So how to draw the polar plot. The steps are, in the first step, whatever GSHS is given to you, just put S is equal to J omega in that transfer function. It means that transfer function is now converted into J omega form. After that, you have to find out the magnitude and phase. So, to find out the magnitude, find the mod of Gj omega. And for angle or phase, find out angle Gj omega. One more thing is, in this one, when you are going to find out the Gj omega, it will be a complex numerator or denominator quantity. So it is always better that you make a rationalization so that you can get a real part as well as a imaginary part. Because when you proceed on, you have to find out the cutting point on real axis as well as imaginary axis. So it is always better when you are going to find out the mod of anything, just make it this complex numerator denominator in the form of real and imaginary form. It means just you have to rationalize this one so that the overall transfer function change into real plus imaginary form. After that, whatever your transfer function is there, just put omega is equal to 0. It means the initial value of frequency, some middle values of omega. This will give you the magnitude also. And at the final one, omega is equal to infinity. So this is your frequency variation. Omega is equal to 0 and omega is equal to infinity. This is must to get the idea of the response variation when you are varying the frequency omega. But in the middle of these, you can also take several values to get a complete idea of response. Similarly, do the same thing for your phase. Find out the phase, and when you have the transfer function in real and imaginary part, then the angle is just tan inverse imaginary upon real value. So you can easily get the value of phase. Just suppose, to clarify this one, I'm taking an example. Let's suppose GSHS is equal to K upon 1 plus ST, where K is a constant and T is also a constant. So now the simple question is, draw the polar plot of this given GSHS. As such, earlier explained, the first step is just to put S is equal to J omega. When you put S is equal to J omega, G omega is now K upon 1 plus J omega T. Next is find out its magnitude and phase. So its magnitude is K is constant. So this is K plus J0. So this is under root K square plus 0 square. So it will return back to simple K value. So the numerator is simple K. Where is the denominator? This is under root 1 square plus omega square T square. Means X plus JY So under root x square plus x square plus y square is its magnitude. So in the similar way, just see what is the value of x and what is the value of y. So this one is your under root 1 plus omega square t square. In the similar manner, angle, this angle is similar as your Bode plot. So angle of k is 0, whereas angle in the denominator term is tan inverse imaginary upon real, that is tan inverse omega t upon 1. As this term is in the denominator, so when you take angle in the numerator, that will give you minus sign. So the angle becomes minus tan inverse omega t. So I think this is clear to all of you. Now, the third one is you had to vary the value of frequency. Till now, you can see that in your Bode plot, you have to convert this magnitude into decimal also. But here, there is no need. Just put omega is equal to 0 for magnitude as well as phase. So when you put omega is equal to 0, this becomes k upon under root 1 only. So this is nothing but k, whereas angle minus tan inverse 0, and that angle becomes 0 radian per second. Now next is, as I said, take several value in the middle of 0 and infinity. So in this one, we have taken 1 upon t as a second frequency. So when you put omega is equal to 1 by t, so the magnitude becomes k upon root 2, and its phase is minus tan inverse 1, which is equal to minus 45. And the last one is you have omega is equal to infinity. This is the final frequency. So the overall magnitude becomes k upon 0, because omega is infinity, so this becomes k upon infinity. So k upon infinity is 0. Angle is minus tan inverse infinity, which is equal to minus 90 degree. So now you have three values of magnitude and phases with respect to the frequency 0, 1 by t, and infinity. So now just you have to draw a plot this magnitude phase with the variation of these frequencies, and this plot is nothing but simply your polar plot. So this is very a simple one, but how to draw this plot on a single graph, just see on your screen. Now you know the different positions of your angle along with your different axes. So you know that the real positive part is 0 degree, and when you move in the anti-clockwise direction, the angle is 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree, and now at 0 degree it will again 360 degree. In the clockwise direction, the angle is minus 90 degree, minus 180 degree, minus 270 degree, and again this return back to 0 degree, which is minus 360. So now you have idea where the angle is placed on your real as well as imaginary axis. So this is nothing but whatever angle of phase is coming, just you have to put this phase according to these positions on real or imaginary axis. Now the magnitude. The magnitude is nothing but a distance, and this distance is similar to your plotting of a graph in your earlier classes. So just suppose the magnitude is coming as 5 units. It means from your origin, you are just measuring the distance and plotting the point which is having a distance from origin to that particular point, and its length is 5 units. So we are saying that this is a point at 5 unit distance. So this is nothing but a magnitude. So the overall length from the origin is nothing but its magnitude. If it is having higher length or higher magnitude, it just you have to make put the dimension shortage like that. You have to consider the 5 unit is equal to 1 centimeter like that, and then you have to find out its length again. It means if you are having higher unit length or higher magnitude, just you have to compensate with the other parameter. So if you are having in a first case at omega is equal to 0, your magnitude is a and angle is 0. So you know angle is 0 at the positive real axis and its magnitude is k. K means it is not given what is its length, but you are having a k value which is positive in the sense. So you are now considering a length k from the origin, but its direction is positive real axis having angle 0. So you can see on your real axis, the length is k. This length is measured from origin, having a point at 0 degree. And at that point, you have written omega is equal to 0. It means the length is showing its magnitude, direction is showing its phase, and the point is showing its frequency. It means at this particular point, just you have to write the frequency value. It means in this case, this is omega is equal to 0. Its direction is itself showing your phase, and the length from the origin is itself showing its magnitude. In the similar manner, when you are having omega is equal to infinite, so angle is minus 90 degree and magnitude is 0. It means magnitude is 0. It means that is origin itself, because you are going to measure the distance from origin and magnitude is coming as 0. It means this is the point at origin itself. Angle is 90 degree. So you can see that there is a curve, or what we can say a semicircle, which is going to start from omega is equal to 0, because this is its initial value of frequency, and omega is final value, and this final value omega is equal to infinite. Its magnitude is origin, and it is going to terminate with the angle of minus 90 degree. So in the same way, you have to start your this plot from omega is equal to 0 and go according to the angle, and its final angle is minus 90 degree. The minus 90 degree is nothing but negative imaginary axis and going to terminate at omega is equal to infinity, which is origin. Now in the middle of these two, you are having omega is equal to 1 by t. Of course, in this graph, in this plot, it is not shown actually, but when you think about that, its angle is minus 45. So when you take a minus 45 angle, so this will be the angle between your 0 degree and minus 90 degree. So you will have a point which is at minus 45 degree, and the length from origin is k upon root 2. So you will again have a point. So in this one, you can consider that there is an arrow on your semicircle. You can consider this point which is at minus 45 degree, and distance from origin is k upon root 2. So you have 3 points. Just you connect this one and you will have a plot which is nothing but a polar plot of given transfer function, open loop transfer function. So I think just you have to consider its angle, its magnitude, and direction. The plot is always starts from omega is equal to 0 and terminate at omega is equal to infinity. Along with that, if you have some other points, so put on your plot and connect these points, which will give you a complete plot. So this is showing you a semi-circle, but this may possible it will have different shapes. So as soon or as much you will do the question, you will get different shapes, and these shapes will be approximate shapes. It may be a semicircle, it may be a hard side shape, or it may be anything. But when you have different points, just interconnect that points, and whatever shape is coming, that is nothing but the polar plot of given open loop transfer function. Right? So these are your the basic thing to get the polar plot. Of course, as I earlier said, it is always beneficial to divide the transfer function into real and imaginary part. So we are having another question. In this one, your GSHS is equal to K upon 1 plus ST1, दूसरे ब्रैकेट में 1 plus ST2. So the step is again same. Find out its magnitude. So K upon under root 1 plus omega square T1 square in the first. The second one is under root 1 plus omega square T2 square. Now angle of K is 0. And for your denominator, first angle is tan inverse omega T1. Second is tan inverse omega T2. Because both the angles in the denominator, the final will be minus tan inverse omega T1 minus tan inverse omega T2. What do you have? Again, you have to take the values of omega is equal to 0, omega is equal to infinity. At omega is equal to 0, you are again getting the value of magnitude as k and angle is 0. At omega is equal to infinity, magnitude is coming as 0 and angle is minus 180. Now you can see on the screen, in this one, it is also required to get the cutting point at j omega axis, because this is going to cut your j omega axis. So you have to rationalize your open loop transfer function. So to rationalize this one, whatever the complex number in the denominator, just multiply and divide the conjugate of that complex number in numerator as well as denominator, and simplify this one. So you can see on your screen, you have multiplied 1 minus j omega t1, 1 minus j omega t2 in the numerator as well as in the denominator. So after simplification, you will get a real part as well as a imaginary part. Of course, this is a slight mathematical calculation which will consume some time, but the cutting point is very much required to get the stability. I will explain how to get the stability later on, but this is a requirement to get the stability. So when you convert your open loop transfer function into real and imaginary part, put the different real and imaginary part individually equal to 0. So when you put real part equal to 0, whatever the frequency component are coming, that is giving you the frequency at which your imaginary axis will cut. Because real part now becomes 0, what left? This is just a imaginary part. So when you put real part equal to 0, it will give you cutting frequency at imaginary axis. When you put imaginary axis, imaginary value equal to 0, it will give you cutting point at the real axis. जस्ट रिवर्स, एक दूसरे के रिवर्स है. रियल पार्ट को 0 करेंगे तो इमेजरी के कटिंग पॉइंट्स आएंगे, और इमेजरी पार्ट को 0 करेंगे तो रियल एक्सिस पे कटिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी हमें आएगी. तो यू कैन सी ऑन योर स्क्रीन, so when you put real part equal to 0, it means k 1 minus omega square t1 t2 divided by 1 plus omega square t1 square, 1 plus omega square t2 square, and when you equate with 0, so denominator will cross multiply with 0, so only term is 1 minus omega squared t1 t2 equal to 0. So you will get omega square, omega is equal to 1 upon under root 1 under root t1 t2, or omega square is equal to 1 upon t1 t2. One more thing that you have to remember, if its value is coming as omega square is equal to minus 1 upon t1 t2. So be careful with respect to your inequalities. Omega square is equal to minus 1 upon t1 t2, and you know that the square quantity is always positive, and when it is coming as omega square is equal to something negative, it means this inequality is invalid. So when this condition comes, it means there is no cutting point. So be careful in that. If the inequality is invalid, it means this will not the condition of cutting point. As such, in this case, your omega square is coming as 1 upon T1 T2. It means square quantity is positive. It means this is a valid inequality. So it is having a cutting point at j omega axis. But if it is having omega square is equal to any negative quantity, and this is not a valid inequality, so that we have to consider it that there is no cutting point in the j omega axis. If you can see in your j omega part, when you create the second j omega part or imaginary part, you just have minus k omega t1 t2 equal to 0. When you solve this one, you will get omega is equal to 0. As such, your denominator it's again becomes 0 when you cross multiply. So it means you are just having a frequency in which your real value or real section or real part is 0. It means there is a cutting frequency at j omega axis. But in your imaginary section, when you put imaginary part equal to 0, your frequency is coming as 0. It means at omega is equal to 0, this will cut your real part. Whereas at omega is equal to under root under root t1 t2, it will cut your imaginary axis. So when you put this frequency in your j omega axis, you will get a magnitude. So this is the overall thing. So when you find out that this length and this frequency is 1 upon under root t1 t2, and when you put this frequency into your magnitude, you will get k under root t1 t2 upon t1 plus t2. Just you have to solve this one by your own self. It is already shown in your presentation, but now you have a cutting point at the real axis, in the imaginary axis, but no cutting point at the real axis. Again, do the same thing. At omega is equal to 0, you are having magnitude k and angle is 0 degree. So you have taken a length of k from origin at angle 0, and you have put it omega is equal to 0 in your real axis. Similarly, when you take omega is equal to 1 upon under root t1 t2, and if you consider its angle, the real part is 0, imaginary part is something, so angle becomes tan inverse something upon 0. It means tan inverse infinity. Of course, this is the denominator, the angle becomes minus 90 degree. You can see that in your minus 90 degree, you are having a cutting point at the j omega axis, minus j omega axis, whose length is from origin is a. And a value you can drive as such in your this question. A value is k under root t1 t2 upon t1 plus t2. At the final one, at omega is equal to infinity, the magnitude is 0, but angle is minus 180 degree. It means just you have to, you can say, terminate your this plot with an angle of minus 180 degree, and towards origin, because at origin the length is 0. But you can see that the plot is going to start from omega is equal to 0, going to minus 90 degree with the length of a cutting point, and now going to terminate to origin with a direction of minus 180 degree. It will follow the direction of minus 180 degree phase. And you can see that on your origin, you are having omega is equal to infinity. So this is nothing but your polar plot of the given question. In this question, now you have the separation of your real as well as imaginary, magnitude as well as phase, and how to calculate the cutting point magnitude and its angle. Now the final one is its stability. So how to find out the stability using polar plot. So just think about your closed loop system. For your closed loop system, this is the characteristic equation 1 plus GSHS. And when you are considering 1 plus GSHS, you are separating the real axis as well as imaginary axis with respect to your origin 0, 0 value. It means 0, 0 middle point. Its right hand side is simply called as right hand part of your S plane, and its left side is called as left half the S plane. So any root is lying on the right half. When you are considering 0, 0 point, you are saying the system is unstable. But in this case, you are having polar plot, which is having GSHS, which is nothing but a open loop transfer function. So when you convert this closed loop equation or characteristic equation, your GSHS becomes -1. So the coordinate now changed to 0, 0 to -1, 0. It means when you're considering closed loop system, your stability condition will be judged by 0, 0 value, means origin. But when you are considering the open loop system, it means that is GSHS. It means you have to judge its stability with respect to point -1, 0. So just you have to check whether your -1, 0 coordinate is left half of the polar plot or right half of the polar plot. If it is not enclosing, it means -1, 0 आपके प्लॉट के अंदर नहीं आ रहा है, then your closed loop system is stable. Else अगर आपने प्लॉट ड्रॉ किया और -1, 0 पॉइंट आपका उस प्लॉट के अंदर आ जाता है, तो यू कैन से दिस सिस्टम इज unstable. So if your -1, 0 is on the right side of the polar plot, or you can say it is enclosing your polar plot, then the closed loop system is unstable. And if it is not encircling or enclosing your -1, 0 point, then your closed loop system is stable. So this is actually the main thing. But if your plot is passing your -1, 0, it means just on the same crossing point -1, 0. So this is nothing but a marginal case, because -1, 0 अंदर है तो सिस्टम अनस्टेबल है, अंदर नहीं है तो सिस्टम स्टेबल है. बट अगर आपका प्लॉट -1, 0 से पास हो रहा है, then you will say the system is marginally stable. So this is the overall concept of your polar plot, how to draw the polar plot, how to get the stability of the polar plot. So this is the overall thing. Then the next one, we are having the Nyquist plot, which is nothing but a slight enhanced version, or in some books you can see that Nyquist plot, it's nothing but a, nothing, not a new plot. This is also a polar plot, but slight enhanced concept of polar plot. So this is a Nyquist scientist who has given some new concept for stability, and it having a basic concept of plot, that is polar plot. So we will, in the next coming class, we will discuss about the Nyquist plot. But till now, go and see the different questions of the polar plot, see its, check its stability, and draw the polar plot on simple graph paper. So today's class is on polar plot. In the coming next class, we will discuss about the Nyquist plot. So I'm coming on the screen.